The Kremlin is in a panic. The US and Scandinavia are pouring billions into arming Ukraine. Washington is ramping up the military machine for the Ukrainian armed forces. A large-scale overhaul of Ukrainian artillery is being launched in the US. Long-range missiles are already on the way.
Almost $500 million for the purchase of American weapons. Norway, Sweden, and Denmark are allocating $486 million to purchase overseas defensive weaponry as part of a NATO initiative. The aid will be provided under the new Prioritized Ukrainian Requirement List initiative. Assistance under Pearl will ensure the rapid delivery of weapons and equipment to Ukraine to strengthen air defense, in particular the procurement of missiles for the Patriot system.
This summer, we have witnessed how Russia relentlessly continues its illegal attacks against Ukraine along the front line and against civilian targets in cities. With this contribution, we aim to facilitate Ukraine's rapid access to the necessary equipment, while also strengthening NATO cooperation on Ukraine's defense and ensuring peace on Ukraine's terms. Kure O. Sandvik, Minister of Defense of Norway.
The Netherlands has already funded an aid package of similar value, and in the near future, several more such packages will be provided under Pearl. These aid packages include support for air defense, ammunition, and other essential equipment. Each aid package will have an estimated value of $500 million. In parallel with this initiative, the United States has approved the sale of maintenance services for the 777 howitzers to Ukraine, worth more than $200 million. The agreements consist of 2 contracts.
The State Department has decided to approve the possible sale to the government of Ukraine abroad of equipment, repair services, and operational support for M777 howitzers and related equipment, totaling about $104 million. The Defense Security Cooperation Agency has provided the required certification notifying Congress.
The deliveries will include technical assistance, training, instructions, and other elements of logistics and support. The main contractor will be BAE Systems UK. The second contract provides for the provision of transportation and logistics services to Ukraine.
The government of Ukraine has requested the purchase of transportation and cargo consolidation services to support security assistance programs, as well as other related elements of logistics and program support. The total estimated cost is $99.5 million. The proposed sale will significantly help to achieve the important foreign policy and national security objectives of the United States by substantially enhancing Ukraine's crucial ability to defend itself effectively.
The administration of US President Trump is also considering the possibility of supplying Ukraine with JSSM cruise missiles for the F-16. The first JASSM missiles have a strike range of about 370 kilometers. More advanced versions are capable of hitting targets at distances of up to 1,000 kilometers.
The JSSM entered service in 2003, combining limited radar evasion capabilities with a high level of targeting accuracy and a warhead payload of 450 kilograms. Currently, this missile is operated by 4 countries, including Poland, which received 110 for its F-16 fighters. Other Cold War-era fighter jets in service with Ukraine, specifically the Su-27 and Su-24M inherited from the Soviet Union, have already been modified to launch the British and French Storm Shadow and Scalp cruise missiles, which have some comparable characteristics to the JSSM.
And although Trump himself said 2 weeks ago that he is not considering supplying Ukraine with long-range missiles, sources in the White House claim that this issue has already been under discussion for some time. And as we know, Trump changes his mind very quickly.
A complete failure for Putin. The alliance between Baku and Yerevan strikes a blow to the Kremlin. Azerbaijan and Armenia have pushed Russia out of the region, the end of Moscow's influence. The Caucasus is now within the orbit of Ankara and Washington. What this will mean for Russia, find out right now.
This agreement will change the Caucasus and put a stranglehold on the Kremlin. The breakdown in relations between Baku and Moscow, along with Turkey and the US supporting reconciliation between the 2 countries, has changed everything.
I am very proud of these truly courageous and visionary leaders for making the absolutely right choice for the great and resilient peoples of Armenia and Azerbaijan, ensuring a brighter future for all. This will be a historic day for Armenia, Azerbaijan, the United States, and the entire world.
Closed borders and long-standing ethnic conflicts are now a thing of the past. The meeting between the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan has normalized relations between Yerevan and Baku. A month prior to this, the final negotiations between the leaders of the 2 countries had already taken place. They were extensive, held in various formats, and lasted more than 4 hours. The leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan are ready to sign an appeal to dissolve the Aussie Minsk group, which was promoted by the Kremlin. Since 1992, this organization has operated under the joint leadership of the Russian Federation, France, and the United States, acting as a mediator in resolving the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict.
Even we did not truly hope, and indeed no one genuinely hoped, that during these extensive and important talks of ours, there would be any truly concrete and significant progress made.
Armenia and Azerbaijan were at odds for more than 30 years because of Karabakh, but now they're not even discussing it. In March 2025, Armenia and Azerbaijan announced that they had agreed on the text of an agreement to establish peace and interstate relations.
Karabakh is ours. Karabakh is Azerbaijan.
At one time, the Kremlin managed to pit the neighbors against each other over Karabakh. They played their own game and pretended to be peacekeepers for a long time, but were finally exposed. Armenia realized that the Green Putin's little men on military bases were a fiction. Russia was supposedly supposed to participate in all the processes of Armenian-Azerbaijani normalization and was the guarantor. Putin signed documents regarding Karabakh, but even here the Kremlin dictator was thrown overboard. Russia has been completely excluded from this process, even though it had long served as a mediator between the two countries.
Dear Nikolai Vladimirovich, I am very glad to see you.
The death of an Azerbaijani in Russia and the arrests of opposition members in Armenia have only brought to the surface the dissatisfaction and mistrust that had been building up for years.
We are, of course, interested in maximum cooperation across all vectors in all directions. And in addition to multilateral formats, we are still united by very close bilateral relations. That's right. And we intend to continue developing them further.
At the moment, what is important is the decision regarding the opening of the Zangezur corridor. This is a transit route through the territory of Armenia that will connect Azerbaijan with its exclave, the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Armenia is interested in and desires the opening of transport communications in the region, bilateral trade, international connections from Armenia to third countries through the territory of Azerbaijan, from Azerbaijan to third countries through the territory of Armenia, as well as transit exchange. In other words, we are consistently demonstrating our interest and readiness here.
For Baku, this is a strategically important project. Today, the only way to reach the autonomy is mainly by air.
I want to strongly emphasize that in this particular statement, only one specific corridor is explicitly mentioned, and that is indeed the Lakhin corridor, which was originally supposed to be under the direct and complete control of Russian peacekeepers, but unfortunately it has been quite illegally and persistently blocked by Azerbaijan, causing significant concern.
Russia also wanted to benefit here. It saw itself as a mediator in this process as well, one that would profit from the opening of regional communications. Putin planned to deploy the Russian Federation's FSB border service to control the road through Armenia.
The signing of the memorandum not only leads to Armenia's geopolitical isolation, but also threatens relations with Iran, which is categorically opposed to the transfer of the Zangezur corridor.
The road will open, but without Moscow's involvement, and this will be a huge Russian influence in the South Caucasus. That is why Russian patriots are portraying Pashinyan as a traitor.
Pashinyan comes and goes, but Armenia remains. So let's respond calmly to statements from politicians like these.
Baku, as the victor, is dictating the terms to Yerevan. Apparently, the main focus of the memorandum will be on the transfer of the Zangezur corridor, which directly contradicts the interests of the Armenian people. However, for Nikol Pashinyan, these factors apparently are not a priority.
Turkey is also interested in opening the borders between the two countries. And now the friend of both countries has become President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Armenia and Azerbaijan seem to have turned away from hostile Russia for good and are ready to cooperate with the United States.